Today, I'm gonna build 3 new LEGO minifigure habitats for the Collectible Series 27. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I have to thank you the LEGO group for sending this early copy for review on behalf of Brick Nerd. So if you're watching this video, that means that my article on Brick Nerd is already live. I will link it down below so you can go and check it out. I'm gonna open up these minifigures and I'm gonna build the first 7 habitats of my series of habitats that I do for all the CMF. If you remember, I did a complete series of D&D, Space, and also the previous series 25. The lineup of this series is pretty cool. I think the series 25 is still my favorite. This one is probably gonna go and fight together with the series 24. And of course, D&D probably of the recent one is my favorite. Also, the review copy come in this sort of big, tall box of the complete series of 12 minifigures. And I wish that would be something that would be available for purchase all around the world, because there are collectors of minifigures that would like just to get the complete series without the need to, fill the bag like we used to do or go now with all the scanning up. Let's just get a complete series once and that's it. But anyway, everybody's here for the habitat, so let's start right away. I have here the 3 fan favorites that are, in my opinion, that are of course the Wolfpack Beastmaster, the Pirate Quartermaster, and the Steampunk Inventor. So let's start from the number 1 pick over here. I guess, sorry about that, most people is very excited about this minifigure. So what I did here, I take inspiration from an old Wolfpack set, a sort of tower with a bridge in the front. So here is the color scheme. We have this door at the back, and the tower is gonna be in black with a little bit of details, like rock details on the side. I did a little bit of side building over here to get it a little bit higher. I had to switch the direction of this because here I have the arch, so I cannot connect the slopes on that side. I have some rock work going around it, and for that I decided to use some light bluish gray because the habitat is already quite dark. On top, I build a kind of small roof, one over here and then one even higher, a little bit smaller, with a red and dark red color combination to call to that older set. You can see here I came in front a little bit so that I have the space eventually to put an habitat here, even though it doesn't really make sense because it would be hidden then behind the wall over here. A little mistake I did in the construction is that I built this over here, so I had to come back one stud over here. That means that here I can put an habitat, but it wouldn't be aligned with the rest because it should actually sit on this corner over here. But anyway, now I wanted to add the bridge, but a bridge that I have over here straight was kind of boring. So I added this wedge plate over here, and I have over here one connection, so I can just put this bridge. I can just put this bridge like this, connected to one stud on a slight angle, and I think it's pretty cool. And that's the place where I'm gonna add the minifigure. Then, of course, here I need to find space for the wolf as well, which is quite big, and also is the same color scheme of the rest. So I build an extra base over here for the bridge. So the bridge is actually gonna come a little bit forward outside of the base of the habitat. So again, I'm gonna push it down there in that stud. It's actually pretty solid, it's not gonna move around, and I have also a little bit of space to move it around if I want to. Over here, I'm gonna connect the wolf, and now to break up a little bit all this gray, I build a very simple, small tree with a few leaves. Here I'm going with an angle stud to give a little bit of an interesting angle, and this is gonna break up the scene a little bit and make it more cohesive. Also here I need another splash of red, so I thought I could add one of these flags that were present also in the older Wolfpack sets. So I think I'm very, very happy with this one. Maybe my favorite of the series so far, but let's move this to the side and let's move on to the Steampunk Inventor. Very cool minifigure as well. I just built some steampunk with my lighthouse for Wandering Sky. So I'm using some of the pieces from that set. Here I have a dark red base. I'm gonna go with a dark orange wall, and here you can see I'm building sideways a little bit. So over here I have a bracket to align this sort of golden fence over here, and then I'm gonna close it off at the top. So here I'm planning to have this sort of very tall window that, looking at the reference images, it kind of makes sense for these steampunk words. So I have these, I think it's a Star Wars dish. I'm gonna connect it over here. I had initially a very poor technique for this one. This is also not great. It's not a proper good connection, but at least it's stable. The first one I tried was actually quite bad. Here at the back, this is just a big long antenna piece, and it gives me a little bit the idea of this window. So we have one line coming down and one line over here. So I think this kind of works. Here I have the detail because I wanted to add a clock, which I think is something that kind of works again in this setting. And now, because I have that gap over there, I'm just gonna add a tile to hide it a little bit. Anyway, here I still have the space to connect another habitat. It doesn't interfere. On the back side, I'm using this big golden dish. So this is gonna connect like so, and it's gonna help to keep the walls all together. Now it's time to add some details. So over here at the back, I'm gonna add some pipes. So pipes and gears, of course, is the kind of things that we would find in a sort of steampunk setting. Here I have the legs of a table that, again, I'm doing in dark red, and I added a couple of printed stuff here and accessory on top. I'm gonna have another kind of piping coming up here on the side with a little bit of sort of smoke coming up. One more accessory, and then in the middle I can add the steampunk inventor. Now, as a last little detail, in my lighthouse I built some small micro scale airship. Here is kind of a mix between the two that I had there. So over here at the back I have this Technic brick coming out, which I can connect this. So when we are looking this from the front perspective, we can see a micro scale airship far in the background. I think is a really good touch. Of course, if then I put this, I put some habitats on top, then it will be a little bit too much shadow over there. But if you take the habitat as it is, this is a pretty cool effect. Now, the last habitat I need to build for this episode is gonna be the Pirate Quartermaster. Very cool minifigure with this cockatoo. Here I'm going for a sort of beach setting. So here I have a little bit of water. Like here also I had a little bit of water, which always make the things pop nicely. A little jetty over here and a nice beach. On the back side, I decided to use one of those old panels from old pirate set, this kind of imperial kind of buildings with this printed masonry at the back. And here I have a little very simple roof that I'm just gonna clip in there because I don't have much space over here. On the other side, I build an archway. In this case, I try to follow a little bit the color scheme that I had in the panel. So we have white and we have dark red, and here we can connect, of course, all the habitats. And here I have another little roof. In this case, I'm using the angle stud and these ingots. At the back here, I'm gonna add a door. So I could have left it open actually, but I think a brick build door would work well. And this, you can see I use many different things: tiles, plates, grills, the reddish brown and dark brown, so that we have a nice wooden door effect over here. So that's pretty nice. We can add a little bit more detail. So I'm gonna add a barrel over here with a letter. I'm gonna add a seagull on top over here. I'm gonna add another parrot over here at the front. And I'm also planning to have a monkey over here dangling down, even though that one tend to fall up quite easily. Then here I want to have a palm tree, but not using the big palm tree that Lego has, because they will make the scene a little bit too much shade on the scene, and that happens when you try to build trees into habitats. So I did this little construction with the fun pieces upside down, 2 small ones, 2 big ones. That's what I had available at the moment in my collection, and I think the effect kind of works. I have this kind of skinny trunk that can angle in different directions, so I can build this and angle a little bit differently. In the middle, I can add my Pirate Quartermaster like so, and I can even potentially add a bottle over here. Generally we have those in the pirate set. So let me know what are your thoughts in the comments down below about these 3 minifigures. Let me know if these were actually your favorites. I believe these are the fan favorites, but if you have a different opinion, you let me know in the comments. Let me know which one of these 3 is your favorite. Go and check out the article that I did on Brick Nerd that I will link down below. Thank you again, Legos, for sending this for early review, and thank you, Brick Nerd, for having me as a guest contributor. Stay tuned, because I'm gonna release week by week the different, all the different sets of minifigure habitats. And if you want to see more, I highly recommend you to go and check out my series of D&D habitats here on the channel. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Ciao, ciao.